Former Governor John Hickenlooper declined to apologize for breaking the law while in office, while his opponent for the Democratic Senate nomination, former House Speaker Andrew Romanoff, called on Hickenlooper tonight to drop out of the race. They debated live on 9 News. 9 News political reporter Marshall Zellinger is along now. And Marshall, the Democrats running to replace Republican Senator Cory Gardner, they differed tonight on police reform, on health care, on climate change, though it was Hickenlooper's ethics issues that drew the sharpest exchange.
And they really differed on that. You said that Andrew Romanoff asked for him to drop out of the race, and John Hickenlooper differed in the opinion, saying no. It was on Friday that Colorado's Ethics Commission found that Hickenlooper, while governor, violated the state's gift ban on 2 different occasions. The day before that, they found him in contempt for not appearing before the commission despite a subpoena. When asked if he was sorry and regrets his behavior, he eventually said he took responsibility. After this part.
I made a commitment to travel anywhere and everywhere to try and bring jobs and create economic growth for Colorado. And there's a dark money Republican group that filed 97 allegations against these travels. And the commission came back and found 2 of these violated ethics codes.
You heard John blame the Republicans. You heard him blame the staff. I suppose he even blames the commission, which includes his own appointees who ruled against him. The truth is, John Hickenlooper represents a threat that we cannot afford. I believe he should consider withdrawing from this race.
You know, I've campaigned statewide in 2010, 2014, difficult years for Democrats, and won both times. And Andrew, you haven't won an election, in 12 years. I think it's clear that I have a relationship with Coloradans through thick and thin, and that they're going to recognize these as smear attacks that will be used against any Democratic candidate.
Since I do check facts, it's actually 14 years since Romanoff won his last election. That job was at the state capitol, which has been a starting point for the protests for the last 12 days. Clashes between police and protesters have pretty much ended, but the discussion about what policing looks like in the future is ongoing.
Well, I don't think we should defund the police, but I do believe we need to reform the police. When I first became mayor, I made some major efforts at police reform, but we didn't get far enough. And now we have to recognize that things like making sure police officers turn on their cameras, that they don't use strangleholds. These are essential parts of any reform effort.
Reform is not enough. We do need to shift resources and demilitarize the police. We need to invest in community services. John fundamentally misunderstands this moment, just as he misunderstood what Black Lives Matter means. Frankly, it doesn't do us much good to say Black Lives Matter when day after painful day we act as if they don't.
Other areas they disagreed on, health care, and later in this program you'll hear about their climate differentials. One thing they agreed on is there needs to be change in Washington. And one thing I noticed from this debate, Kyle, is that Andrew Romanoff acted as though he's an underdog and making pointed attacks to John Hickenlooper. And John Hickenlooper, who has taken the non-negative approach, found a few points to jab at Romanoff. It's probably the sharpest I've seen Hickenlooper.
Yeah, and I think what we saw there, Marshall, is a dynamic where you have Hickenlooper, who represents sort of a moderate centrist brand of Democratic politics, which has held sway in Colorado for a very long time, and Andrew Romanoff looking to channel a lot of the progressive energy, a lot of the protest energy, that idea of swinging the party to the left.
The way I think about it is Andrew Romanoff is very popular with the people who go to the caucuses, the party goers, the ones who go to the elementary schools and into your living room. But when it comes for everyone to have a say, it seems like he's still fighting a battle to have some name recognition.
All right, Marshall Zellinger, thank you so much.